Hello and welcome once again to our tips and tricks session. This is a continuation of just some general stuff on how to use Fabrication CADmep 2017. The next video here that we're going to take a look at, this video is all about how do we go from like a spool sheet to some construction documentation. So a couple of things when we're dealing with some spools, I'm looking at this file and it's not very clear as to what's happening here. So this spool, irrelevant of what's happening in the background, is just all about piping. So one thing that I might want to consider here is, let's just remove the XREFs real quick before we do our printing here. Let me do a little cleanup, and then I'll show you how we go about printing. So let's take both of these and unload both of these guys. So I'm in the XREF manager. I'll just turn them off. And the text is too big, right? So that's a function that, depending on how the setup is, that's a function of either the text size, or the style, the text style. So I'll type ST to get my text style, and I want to look at the height of my standard text height, right? So I can see it's one foot, so I'll change it to 4-inch height here, and when I apply that, my system kind of takes over here, and I can regen as well, and it'll kind of shrink the sizes so it's a lot more legible, right? So, and a few additional things I might want to do is I may want to go to the 3D view and start kind of locating this for clarity as to how that's going to work, right? Now the other option is I can hide this information in this one viewport, right? So I think it's this one, is that it? Hide object text in viewport. So I can turn it off, as you can see here, and that way I'm not seeing the object text. And if I wanted to tag that, I could come in here and do my tagging. So here's all my tagging features. Here's the number, and if I wanted to select just one of these objects and pull that out, that'll tag it on and off, as you can see. So let me put that back on in the plan view here, just so I can identify that guy and make sure that's on. So a couple of ways to do that. I mean, it's simple. You can use the tag feature in here, and you can hide it in that text. So in that particular viewport. So that's a little bit on the cleanup. Now I'm looking at my company standard border. It's very plain here, but oh, that's the other thing is, regardless of which zoom you're at, if you hit regen, it'll want to keep that particular text height. So depending on how you set up your system, it'll want to do that. So let's zoom to previous here. I think I want to zoom previous. Oh, I need to be in that viewport. Zoom previous. There we go. All right. So the next step is printing. How do we print this? So it's just the standard AutoCAD printing capability here, and I'll just continue to print this one. So depending on your sheet, I'll just tell it, you know what, I want to do an Adobe PDF. You want to look at all of your information. This is set up for a metric project, guys, so you might see some goofy numbers there, but that's essentially what we're dealing with here. I'll go ahead and hit my print preview, and what else do we want to do here? I think that's it. And oh, the tables themselves, guys, these are AutoCAD tables, and you'll notice that some of the line work is gray as opposed to being solid black here, and the gray ones I think don't print. Let me try that one more time. Plot, and let's do the previous plot. Yeah, you're seeing that some of the gray line work isn't going to be populated, so that's just a function of the table itself. So we can take a look at the table. I think what we want to do is, where are my cells? Edit borders. Here we go. And we want to do solid everything. I think that's what we want to do. Let's go ahead and hit OK. Oh, we want to select all of them like this. There we go. Edit borders, and then do the grid. There we go. And I'm going to leave the other one off so you can see the difference here. I'll do a plot, and I'll do the previous plot. So as you can see, it's just AutoCAD tables. That's the object that the reports are using and leveraging. What I like about that is there's quite a lot of flexibility. As you can see with the borders, you can make them heavier and kind of format them in ways that you haven't been able to in the past. So if I wanted the exterior to be heavier, right, you just go to Edit Borders and tell it, okay, the line weight is going to be a little bit thicker, and we're going to go a perimeter, okay, and then this one is also going to be a heavier border. So let's say you choose that same one here and just do a perimeter. Right? So what does that look like? Let's go ahead and look at our line weights here. I think I have them turned off. So as you can see, if I zoom in, oh, that's just the line work. I forget that the table does not show up as line weight. Give me a second. Let's do a plot. And let's do previous, and let's plot objects with line weights. And you can kind of see it a little bit. It's when I step back a little bit, you can see that it's heavier around the border and along the top, and then you've got the data text. So let's go ahead and print this to my Adobe PDF. I'll put this on my desktop, and I'll call this Nike Spool 102. Let's take a look. And let's take a look at this. Let me pull up a couple of things here. Give me 1 second. And oh, my interface changed. That's very interesting. Where's my rotate view? Here it is. I want to do counterclockwise. Alright, so a couple of things. I mean, you can do the 3D view as I've got it here in conceptual. I mentioned earlier you can also do it with, and you would have to do this in your spool template. You would want to do this as legacy hidden, and that way when you plot this up again, it has just the black and white hidden feel to it. So let's do that one more time. Previous plot, preview, and you can see that it's going to look different. So totally depends on how you want to handle it. Do you want the 3D aspect to it with the color fill, or do you want just the the 2D look and feel to this particular spool sheet? So totally up to you how you want to handle that, but that's how you go about printing spool sheets from your batch spools.